Hey, good Sunday morning, my friends. It is great to be with you all. What another gorgeous day. It was a little foggy driving into the landing here this morning, and I can hear foghorns off in the distance at Surfside, California. It was foggy coming across the bridge and then ultimately here to 22nd Street Landing. But it's starting to clear up, and it looks like it's going to be another gorgeous December day in Southern California. And the fish are still biting. We've got all kinds of great stuff on the morning briefing today, including bluefin tuna still on the bite, and your chance to get out there and take advantage of it before it goes away for the year. If it does go away for the year, I have a feeling it's going to bite right on into next year. Also, we've got word on our kids trip, and you can join us. It'll be December the 16th. I'll have some more information. Why don't I just tell you right now, if you want more information, you want to sign up for that trip, 657-227-6459. Just send me a text. I'll send you all the info. We'll see you here at 22nd Street Landing on December the 16th, which is a Friday. What a great way to celebrate Christmas. Good fishing south of the border and so much more. You know what time it is, everybody. It is time for the morning briefing. Good morning to you all. Beyond delicious. So good. Yeah, it is beautiful here at 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro. The Freedom is going tonight. They're going back after that bluefin tuna. So if you'd like to join them, I highly recommend you jump on it while you can. Of course, we'll have tackle tips and so much more here in just a little bit. But another good day on board the Freedom as they just keep cranking out good numbers of fish. The Apollo recently, San Diego-based boats, everybody getting in on this thing. I'll get into that in a moment in greater detail with you all. But for right now, I want to thank everybody who came out yesterday to La Mirada to help us separate clothing. We finished our task. I'm so stoked about that. Fantastic work, everybody. Thank you so very, very much. We're planning approximately another 8 trips down into Mexico to hand out clothing and food and medical supplies and so much more to some people who could really use your help, my help. And together, we're able to pull this all off. We're going to fuel some of this with some raffles, which I'll have information on also here shortly. That same number, if you'd like info on our raffles that are coming up, we have some great stuff. 2-day trip on the Apollo is one of the grand prizes, some Daiwa swag that you're going to love, and you can get in on it and help us help others in Mexico at the very same time. 657-227-6459. Send me a text. I'll send you information on all of that. So we got a kids trip coming up. We got some great raffles coming up. It's a fun time here at Friedman Adventures as we point you toward 2023. That won't be much longer. And hey, I'm remiss in not saying happy holidays. Merry Christmas. It's that time of the year. I hope you are enjoying it with family and friends. All right, folks, let me take you down to Ensenada and talk about the bite down there because it's still going on really, really well for the guys at Blackfin Sport Fishing. We love Victor, his family, and all the guys that make Blackfin such a special place there at Punta Banda, and they just continue to catch good amounts of viejas. Those are sheep's head. Also whitefish and, all kinds of bottom grabbers. Boccaccio and reds, vermilion rockfish, all kinds of the best eating fish in the sea. I don't know how you can beat that, and they just keep doing it. Same thing with Arnie Sport Fishing down there. Arnie has been fishing rockfish, but also an occasional shot of yellowtail, and I mean like 1 or 2, and then some decent bonita fishing also going on down there. Costa Baja, our friend Diego Nuno works on the Royal Star, and we're going to be working with him, getting a lot of clothing out to Cedros Island this year, or perhaps next year, start of next year, I believe that will be. But we'll be working with him, and Costa Baja, he's got a nice little 18-foot Parker center console, and he can take you out. If he's not there, he's on the Royal Star. He's got a guy who's really capable of making things happen. All right, Frank Savino. You know Frank, he ran boats here for so many years, the Enterprise, and several other boats. In fact, he was just here and did a great podcast. I hope you go back and take a look at that. But I saw Frank here recently when we were at Blackfin, when an orphanage came out there for a really memorable day. Frank is always there to help out, and it's a reason why our friendship has endured for so many years. But I got to show Frank one of my favorite spots on the face of the earth, Playa Saldamondo, which is just short of Ensenada. It's a beautiful stretch of the Baja coast, and not a lot of people have been there or know about it. It is such a Baja gem. So I got to show Frank that, and guess what? He was there yesterday, catching some barred perch, having some fun, and enjoying a spectacular sunset. It doesn't get any better than this. He was by himself. He said it couldn't get any better. He was so peaceful and tranquil. The fish were biting, and you had this glorious, beautiful sunset. I don't know how it gets any better than that. It makes me feel good that I was able to introduce Frank to that really special stretch of Baja Beach. All right, as I mentioned, a little bit foggy here this morning. Foghorns blaring in the background still, but it's really turning into a lovely day. And so it's time to talk bluefin tuna. And that bite out there on Tanner Bank mostly. Cortez has some fish on it also, but it's still very good. The water temp 60 degrees. You would think, wait a minute, that's a little too chilly. But remember, that fish, the bluefin that is, bit down there below Ensenada in the high 50s, low 60 degree water temperature mark earlier in the year. But our friends from Blackfin were telling us that. There's plenty of feed on the bank, and that's why those fish are there. And that's why I don't believe they're going to go anywhere. It is perfect with all that squid on the bank, and they are biting on that live squid if you can lay your grimy hands on that live squid. And that is the key. Some guys don't have it as an option. Other guys have it. If you have live squid or fresh dead, remember, Sean Roberts from the Pride was here the other day talking about these fish, the bluefin, biting on a piece of fresh dead squid. Pretty amazing stuff. And they'll bite the heavy when you throw that at them. We like fluorocarbon still. Opsin fluorocarbon, www.opsinusa.com. That's going to get it done for you perfectly. And that, 40, 50, 60 pound when you're fishing the squid. But when you're fishing the sardine, that's when you're going to the 20 pound, the 25 pound. Choosing a really good hot bait, and that will make it happen for you. The fish, 18 to 30 pounds, like I'd say a good average size is 18, 25, in that range right there. And man, it's just been really an excellent bite out there, and it is continuing that way. And as I mentioned a moment ago, the Freedom is going tonight, and that is really great news. Hopefully they're going to cash in on some really good fishing again, and I don't see any reason why they will not. The weather out there has a slight breeze to it, but nothing that you have to worry about. It is beautiful, and several boats out of San Diego getting in on this. I mean, the Polaris Supreme, for example, was down fishing on a 9-day trip, I believe it was, and he caught wahoo and yellowfin and all of that razzmatazz down south of the border, way down there. But on his last final day, he was up there on Tanner Bank, and he scratched out over 20 bluefin tuna last time I heard from him. So that is great news. That bite is holding up, going very, very well. And there's also the option, and the Freedom exercised this option to get you loaded up and put some color in the fish holes. And I'm talking about rockfish, great eating rockfish that we talked about when you're down there in the Punta Banda area, you're fishing with blackfin. They load you up with rockfish. They're doing the same thing on some of the boats that are out there on Tanner. They have some prolific, excellent, wide open bottom fishing, so you can kind of mix it up. On this most recent trip on board the Freedom, they hit an afternoon lull, which is kind of typical when you're fishing tuna, whether it's albacore or whatever. It seems like you'll hit a lull during the day, and you might as well go do something else because they just are not going to bite. They are off the chew. They come back later in the day sometimes, and then they get back on it and get with it again. But sometimes they just get off the bite, and that's the perfect opportunity to go rock fishing. That, by the way, is a very dicey game because they get off the bite and you're not sure whether it is one of those trends or they're just down for a little bit, and then you go off and rockfish and the thing goes wide open and you're like, oh my God. I mean, these captains, they have to make all these decisions, and sometimes it's pretty tough because you got guys down on deck, the passengers, saying like, hey, what are we doing? You know, well, why are we rockfishing? We want to stay with tuna. Or other guys saying, why don't we go rockfish? So I'm just trying to point out to you that your crews have a lot of stuff on their plate, and they're always trying to make the best decision for you. So remember that when it comes time to throw them a tip. They work really, really hard. Their work ethic is up at the very top, and they're always trying to do what's best for you. All right, Bluefin, still going very, very well. Hopefully that's going to continue. So we look at the bite along the beach, and I'm talking about half-day, three-quarter-day boats, stuff like that. Pretty much all shallow water rockfish from Ensenada all the way up to the Channel Island areas. We're seeing really good rock fishing all up and down City of Long Beach yesterday. Limits on the rockfish. Redondo had good fishing. Marina del Rey, down there around Dana, Oceanside. All those areas, pretty darn good rock fishing right now. Islands down there at San Martin Island, 140 miles south of the border. Good, excellent rock fishing. Coronado Islands, mostly rockfish. Occasional yellowtail. We've heard of some fish on the Yo-Yo Iron there. Catalina, San Clemente, Santa Barbara. There's a few big yellows. The yachts are getting some big white sea bass at times. Sport boats, mostly concentrating on bonita, occasional yellowtail, a little bit of bass and rockfish. And then Channel Island region, all those guys are blessed with great lingcod and reds and great rock fishing. It's been fantastic. I don't know how I can get it any better than it is up there in that neck of the woods. So that bite continuing along really, really well. And it just doesn't want to slow down one bit at all. And in the surf, you saw Frank down there. We've mentioned it. There's some good barred perch fishing. Water gets cooler. Barred perch move in. A few yellowfin croaker down there, Anderson and PCH. They're around the Huntington Beach area, Bolsa Chica area. And then up in the northern sector, Oxnard, Ventura, more and more barred perch starting to show up in that neck of the woods. All right, so give us a like. Please give us a like. It helps us so much in the algorithm. You've already done that. I know you have. But in case you forgot, throw us a like. And then send me a text, please, if you'd like to join us on our December 16th kids trip. That is going to be a lot of fun. Brian will be there. Brian Burrell and Walt and all the great guys who make the Monte Carlo such an exceptional trip. But it's our chance at Friedman Adventures to get together with you and have some fun right before Christmas. It should be great. So don't forget, you got that. You got our raffle now, which is a go. And you can get information on that by sending me a text to 657-227-6459. All right, my friends, what can I tell you? It's always great to be with you all. And of course, I wish you a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and I thank you for all you've done for the people in Mexico and helping us, and for Friedman Adventures. It is something that I can't forget you for, and I deeply appreciate it. Have a great one, my friends. I'll see you really, really soon. Happy holidays. So all those wonderful people who were here helped us to get this all fixed up and organized. Man, I am so stoked. We've got so many great items that now we need to transport to Mexico. That's another whole big pain in the neck, but it's so worth it when you see people's faces and see the joy that all of you who've given us so much great stuff. And it's all great stuff. I mean, if we find anything that is not up to par, we toss it. And there's very little of that went on. So thank you, thank you, thank you very, very much. Couldn't have done it without Greg Bates. He's been here every step of the way. Thank you, Greg. Thank you. And Joe Gallagher, Joey Gallagher, Megan, everybody here at Gallagher Staging. Man, I'll tell you, these are people who are making the world a better, better, better place. And my friendship with Joe and Joey and all of the Gallaghers goes back so many years. They've always been there for me, and they continue to do it time in and time out. Can't thank them enough.